Hello. The Chancellor has just delivered his first purely Conservative budget to the House. I'm Bob Truncheon, and I'm with my two colleagues, Patrick King and Nigel May, to help make sense of this, as there's been quite a bit of complexity announced in the last little while. Patrick, would you like to start off by talking about one or two changes to pensions and inheritance tax?
Yes, well, pretty much as expected, there were two changes in those areas. When we look at the inheritance tax side of things, it's been trumpeted for some time now that the Conservatives are very keen to exempt from tax the family home. And what they've now said and made possible is that a house worth up to £1 million between a married couple or civil partnership will be able to be passed down to the next generation tax-free. There's complexity around it in that extra relief is withdrawn for estates worth more than £2 million in a staged way, so it's not as straightforward as you might hope, but broadly a £1 million house is potentially now possible to pass down without tax. That, as the Chancellor announced, is to be paid for by changes to the pension system. Here, what he announced previously has come to pass as expected, in that where individuals earn more than £150,000, they are going to see their annual allowance for pension purposes reduced on a staged or tapered basis. Currently, an individual can put up to £40,000 a year into a pension and get full relief on that. When you earn more than £150,000, that will reduce steadily down to only £10,000 where you hit an income of £210,000. So their ability to put money into pension is quite drastically reduced. We're expecting also that the announced reduction in the lifetime allowance, currently £1.25 million, will be reduced to £1 million from April next year. £1 million sounds like a lot of money, most people it is, but £1 million equates to about £35,000 per annum of pension if you have a private pension, and maybe up to £50,000 if you're a teacher or in the NHS pension scheme. So not huge amounts of money. If you have pensions more than that resulting from your part, the chances are that any excess of your fund will be charged at 55%, so really quite nasty.
Okay, thank you very much, Patrick. Nigel, he's made some announcements on business tax. Would you like to explain some of those?
Yes, Bob. This is quite a surprise, actually, or certainly a surprise to me. I didn't anticipate corporation tax rates coming down, but it's announced in today's budget that corporation tax will come down to 19% from 2017 and down to 18% by 2020. Those are really very low rates from a G20 viewpoint, and I think business will applaud these announced reductions. It's not only that though, Bob. For small and medium-sized businesses in particular, we had the situation where the £500,000 annual investment allowance is due to expire at the end of this year, and it was going to go down to £25,000. The Chancellor's announced a £200,000 allowance with effect from 1st of January, and that will carry on permanently, or as permanently as any tax change can be said to be so. So again, really quite welcome provisions both for large business and small business.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, he's also changed things on dividends.
Yes, Bob. These changes were expected. Dividend taxation has been pretty odd for many years, and a very efficient way of getting money out of companies, certainly as compared to salary. And as corporation tax rates have reduced, the benefit of taking money out by way of dividend rather than salary has improved year on year, and it's become perhaps a little bit unbalanced. And what has been announced is, first of all, that there will be a dividend allowance of £5,000. So individuals with dividend income of less than £5,000 will not be impacted by these rules, but where dividend income exceeds that amount, enhanced rates of tax will apply so as to give a more fair, from a government viewpoint, effective rate of tax. I think it's fair to say that dividend extraction will still be effective as a way of getting money out of a company as compared to salary because of the national insurance costs. But enhanced or increased tax burdens are coming down the track with regards to dividends, unfortunately.
It's what we expect. Patrick, I think there was something else on fairness when it came to properties and landlords which came out.
Yes, not perhaps entirely unexpected given the press about the increasing prices of residential homes and the increase in number of people buying to let. But landlords have effectively been, an announcement has been made of a clobbering going on for landlords, whereby currently they can borrow money to acquire a property or to improve a property and obtain full tax relief on the interest they pay. From April 2017, over the next 4 years from then, that relief is going to be tapered away such that by 2021, I guess, mathematically, they will only be receiving basic rate relief on any interest they pay on loans they've taken to buy the property. So quite a heavy hit for landlords, and we'll have to see how that does affect the market going forwards.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Nigel, I think there was also an announcement on non-domiciliaries that is worth drawing to our attention.
Yes, non-dom taxation, of course, has been a political football for many years now, and it won't be forgotten that the Labour Party had in their manifesto the abandonment of non-dom status in its entirety. So against this backdrop, it's not surprising to see further legislative action concerning non-domiciles. Now, for many years now, individuals for inheritance tax purposes who are not domiciled would become deemed domiciled by living in the UK, in the case of inheritance tax, for 17 out of 20 years. These rules are being changed but being brought across the board so that they will apply to income tax and capital gains tax as well as to inheritance tax. And what will be provided is if you have lived in the UK for 15 out of the last 20 years, you will become deemed to be UK domiciled, with the consequences that you would not have the benefit of non-domicile taxation open to you. There are further changes as well, and those impact upon individuals who have been born in the UK of UK parents, so they'd have what's called a UK domicile of origin, and they have subsequently left the UK and managed to lose UK domicile status, attaining a domicile of choice in some other state. It's provided in today's budget that those individuals who come back to the UK will not be able to preserve their domicile of choice offshore. So they will become UK domiciled by returning to the UK. So a more focused domicile regime than previously, but still well and truly with us.
Thank you, Nigel, and thank you again, Patrick. Well, that concludes our short presentation on the Chancellor's budget. I think you all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that there were many complex measures announced today which are going to affect your activities going into the future. If you would like further information, these will be available on our website, macintyrehudson.co.uk. But thanks very much indeed for watching.